So, this is the crux of it. What is your prescription?
The prescription is we have to get super real, like a business that's, overextended essentially. And this is not some kind of hair shirt, lashing the back and penance kind of idea of overextension. This is just clearly we cannot. I mean, we know the military cannot fight more than cannot fight two major wars concurrently. So we have 40 something security commitments around the world, depending on how you define it, maybe more. We cannot. We face capable rivals, certainly in Russia and China, of course, North Korea as well, Iran in some ways. That's we could have four conflicts. I don't think it's at all implausible that we could be facing. I mean, in a sense, that we're already facing two quasi conflicts, obviously not directly against NATO, and we're not involved. Well, we are sort of semi-involved in the Middle East, but you could easily imagine, and especially because it would be in the interests of this anti-American hegemony coalition to challenge us at the same time, because that would be maximally advantageous. And so the thing that a lot of people who talk about the Axis don't appreciate is like the fact that they are collaborating means we have to prioritize more, because they are more likely to act in sync, precisely to deplete and distract and stretch us out and hit us at the maximally vulnerable time. Whereas if they were acting randomly or individually, that would be less likely to happen. So what do we do about it? We have to prioritize. We have to prioritize our resources, which are relative to the scale of the threat scarce. I mean, Americans spend almost $1 trillion, so it's a lot of money, but we don't get much bang for our buck these days because of costs and the deindustrialization of our industrial base, and because our military has been overused in the last 35 years or so. So readiness is at historic lows. So we have to prioritize, and then at the same time, we need to both pressure allies to do more and enable them to do more on their own. So this is obviously with the Europeans this is my consistent message, but also with the South Koreans in terms of taking more responsibility for North Korea, with Israel in, I think, also providing sort of political support and wherever possible military support that doesn't decrement from our first island chain defense for allies that are willing to deal with their own security issues. India being a great example of this, Israel, hopefully in the future, Poland and South Korea. That's, I think, the model. And that, I think, offers a plausible basis because the combined GDP and latent capacity of the American-led coalition, or whatever we want to call it, this loose, broad coalition, is greater than that of the quasi-Axis, or whatever we want to call it. However, it has not been actualized, and many of our allied societies have been demilitarized, or effectively demilitarized, and their military capacity is in the wrong place. And as Napoleon or Nathan Bedford Forrest, says, the person who wins a battle is the one who gets there with the mostest, right? So, if we've got all the military strength in America, but we can't get it in time to be relevant and in the right place, it ain't going to matter.